Well, 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 well. It is I, Douglas, the worst boy, showing up to do some damage into your guys' morale today, because today is Friday. Haha, would you look at that? Last day of the week for those of you who work Monday to Friday. Not last day of the week, but second to last day of the week, because normally weeks end on Saturday unless you work with another sort of calendar system in which your weeks end on a Friday or a Sunday. Who knows even. Nonetheless, welcome to the stream, everyone. My name is Douglas, and today I'm gonna do some illustrations. I'm gonna do some drawings. Gonna work on some comic backgrounds. And also, hello there, Iruga. You said that it's Friday. Is Evilness Day. Assim, sexta-feira, dia de maldade. Dia de chamar Uber no ponto de táxi. Dia de dar biotônico fontora pra mendigo. Dia de fazer muitas coisas horríveis. Bom dia, seja bem-vindo. However, Friday it is, and Friday it shall be. It's art time. Everyone loves art time. I know I do. Kinda. So what we're doing here today with art time wise shenanigans is drawing this comic book page. Normally I'm late AF with my comic book pages, but today, for a change, I'm slightly far ahead. Would you look at this delicious panel I have drawn here? I have like character sketches going on. I have line arted the ever-living crap out of this. So, for once in my life, I'm slightly farther ahead from the curve, and I'm ready to do some interesting things here. Which means I will not spend so much time of the stream playing catch up with things. Now I will actually get to draw content for the comic itself, which will be primarily like background for this panel here and background for this panel here, except that this panel here has no background whatsoever. So yeah, for that one I'll have to come up with everything. Yesterday I was doing some sketches here, so I already have something going on, but it's still very far from what it should be. So work. It's work day today. This one here though, it's kinda good, so whatevs. Let's just clean that up and throw that in there. But anyway, how are you doing today, Iruga? In this funky ass, lovely ass day of the fry that people are currently having. So how the hell does this work? Sure. Normally when I draw the backgrounds, I use my normal brush. I don't use the... Ooh. Don't do the I don't use the line art brush because I have two brushes. One brush is specifically for line art, and the other brush is specifically for sketching. They're pretty much the same brush, except that the line art brush has some further stabilization things going on and a little bit more of a, well, a little bit less of a texture, because my drawing brushes, they have like a texture that tries to mimic a pencil. Problem is, normally you don't want to mimic a pencil that much when you're line arting, because it's supposed to look a little bit more crisp than your sketch. But anyway, what the hell am I even talking about? Hirugi says I woke up a bit sick, but you think it won't get worse. Oh, that's good. That you won't get worse. It is awful that you are sick. Nonetheless, feel free to stick around for however long you would like, and I hope that you do. That this stream's healing powers course through you and help you get better. That makes any sliver of a sense. And Regis8 says just chilling. Oh, my dog, chilling is amazing. Welcome to the chill time. Hope you're having a good one. Ben said good Friday morning, everyone. Oh no, it's not good, because it's Friday and it's morning and we're all woke up and working. A good Friday morning would be everyone still asleep, just chilling out, doing nothing. Well, assuming you do chill out when you sleep, but anyway. And also, hello there, Midokami. Wolf afternoon. How's it going? How are you doing? How is everyone's favorite werewolfer doing today? Gotta turn down that opacity, bro. And my new plans for the future is to write a book on the fun and joy of doing backgrounds for comics, so long as you use a flipping perspective ruler. Otherwise it's no fun at all. It's pain and bad times all over the place. But anyway, in the end I did this thing here as a part of the background, but it should be on the line art layer. Time to go and do that right now. So since this is part of the line art layer, and theoretically the line art layer is done with pen, inking pens and whatnot, I am going to go and use my other brush to do this. It's still barely imperceptible, but I'm gonna see if there's a way I can show this to you guys. If I were to do a stroke with my inking pen, it looks a little bit like this. If I were to do a stroke with my normal brush pen, it looks a little bit something like this. It's not very different whatsoever, but the inking pen has a little bit more stabilization, whereas the brush pen has none going on. And it shows even better when you do this sort of strokes here. Actually no, I think that at this size doesn't really matter. I think it just shows it at like bigger sizes. Is that so? Oh no, not at all. Huh. What do you know? I have very concise brushes as it happens. I thought I had slightly variation in texture, but apparently I don't, which is good. Anyway, Line art here is done though. So now we're gonna be working on this panel down there. For that we don't need the line art layers, we just need this sketch layer here. Gotta work with this monstrosity. Amidokami says, doing good, just lay on your bed. A bit tired because I fell asleep a little bit late yesterday. Oh no. Hope you managed to get a good day of rest nonetheless. Or rather, a good night of rest. I don't even know what I'm saying myself. I'm still half asleep and completely bamboozled about what the hell is going on. So do forgive me if I say stuff that makes no sense. It is my thing to be bamboozled. Anyway, with this page here, backgrounds wise, what is this? Oh yeah, reference pictures. Last week when we were working on this page, I think I showed you guys a little bit. Not sure if I did. I looked over last week, I think. I don't even know anymore. Anyway, I looked over some, what's it called, town halls to decide which one I would make. I would make this city's this town hall after, and I ended up voting on Sydney Town Hall because it had exactly what I wanted: an old-looking structure, very fancy schmancy, but it also has a stairwell in front of it, which is just what I needed. So, sketching things up, I decided that it would be something like this. A big door, then a stairwell in front of it. And here would be kind of just like a moat, a little hole for people and or things to pass down below. And up here to the side there would be a bridge for like big vehicles and whatnot to enter this place. But the main entrance is over here with the stairwell, and then here's the street, and then here is where people would be because they're doing some sort of announcement, talk or whatever. And there's people on the street. So this is the kind of building I had in mind for the other day when I did the other page. This one. Where it showed here, all the way in the distance we were able to see it. Kinda up above a hill or something. You could see our characters starting to go that direction. So, spoiler alert, they do reach that place in the next page. But now it's a close-up and I have to draw this. I have to draw both the building and the crowd in front of it. And little do you know, drawing crowds is not as fun as drawing the buildings themselves. So this will be a whole lot of cross-referencing because I never really settled down on a style for this building, so I'm gonna have to go back here to copy what the hell it looks like in here and then go over here and transfer this concepts here. So one such thing I just noticed is that like this side wall here, the side section. Am I even on the right layer? Yes, I am. So this side wall here is extremely long compared to what it shows here. It shows that it has like a distance barely any bigger than this midsection. And then there's the bridge, and then there's another little section on this building ends. So I guess all of this that I have done yesterday with all the cross-referencing is gonna go to the trash. It's gonna get discarded. Don't you love when you just spend hours doing something and then you find out that you did it wrong and you gotta throw it away? It's an amazing feeling. 10 out of 10, would recommend. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. Or rather, what I'm gonna be doing today, as you guys sit back, relax, and tell me all about how your weeks were. So tell me, how was your guys' weeks? What sort of fun little things you do? Or big things? So I'm gonna go over here and make this wall here a tad bigger. By the way, this is just a sketch layer, so later on after I'm done here, we'll also go back and redraw this whole thing. It's gonna be awesome. And also, Coon, hello there. Nice to see you around. How are you doing today? Let's say that this is 1.5 the size of this thing here. So what I want to do is copy this distance here over here, but I want 1.5 of this distance. How would I go about doing that? First, I'll begin with the easy part, that is doing the half. So I know that this is the half of the building, so I'm gonna multiply that. So I'm gonna think of this square here as being the half. What I'm gonna do is copy this over here by using perspective division. I know where it starts and ends, so I can pick any two of these corners here, pass it through the middle, and see it, when it keeps going on, where in this upper or lower line it meets. So pretty much from the bottom, passing through the half and extending up above, it ends here. So this is half of this whole wall measure, and it keeps going. So now that I have half, it's time to copy this entire size. How the shit will I do that though? Easy. I will get this new portion here divided in half, so we're just throwing a little diagonal layer to see where it crosses the horizontal division, and there you go, I have a middle. Same thing now. I'm gonna get this first half here and throw it to the other side. So this first block and the half, pass it through the half's middle and see where in the other side it connects. And it connects all the way over here. So there we go, 1.5. Dun dun. All perspective divisions. You're so cruel to me. But anyway, how are you doing today, Bad Aim Coon? Whenever you show up and use the rack attack emote, I get slightly worried, because the raccoon in the rack attack emote looks so sad and depressed, like something horrible has just happened in its life and it doesn't know what to do. And Oni, you're low-key dying. Why is that, Oni? Also, welcome to the stream. And Wolf Marnie to you. And Kun, great to hear that you're doing good. How has your week been? Yours and Oni's. And Ruga with the emote that looks completely opposite of depressed. It looks very surprised. And Kun says Rack Attack is your traditional opening when you join a stream. Slow week. Oh no. I hope it was like a slow but chill week, not a slow and boring week. And Anya with the Frank-Z, which also looks very depressed. And you can't Frank-Z out things. What? What do you mean, Anya? Also, be right back, you guys. I'm just gonna get myself some water to drink while I go and do hours of talking. And I'm back. Bark. With a delicious bottle of water, but I will not drink it as it happens. Well, theoretically I should drink it, but I'll totally forget it is here, and I'll end up not drinking it. I just know it. It happens every week. Every day. All right. So, according to this, we have like this distance here and a little bit over, like another one of these and a little bit more. It should be this whole gap here in the wall, and then a much larger section going on ahead. So let's figure that one out. That should be fun. All right. And it'll go with the more emotes. What channel is that? I don't know that channel nor those emotes. It is an unknown person, and you know how much unknown persons scares me. Scares me. Because if you didn't, well, they do. Unknown people scare the ever living crap out of me. Ta-da. Sorry. So I'm gonna do the same thing. This whole distance here and a half will be the size of the gap. Because I feel that that's how much it feels like in here. This distance. No, actually no. 1.5 is way too much. How about just 1? Oh, but Doug, aren't you forgetting about perspective? You better believe I am. Shouldn't even be doing this, cause this is already a finished page. Shouldn't be fucking up on that. But what can I do? Let's throw in some perspective rulers in here and try and get some measurement action going on. So, Doug, we have, let's use the white. You have this distance here. Lovely, yes, distance. How much is double that? Oh, I will need extra measurements to make that. I'll need throwing a diagonal line, find the perspective center, expand it a little bit further, and then divide it a little bit more. Also, just a little heads up, I don't need to do this, you see. I'm doing this just because I like. Oh, it is actually 1.5 ish. I'm doing this just because why not? But theoretically, I don't need like this building to be meter by meter precise, the same in this and this page. This could be like extremely longer, and up to a certain point people will not notice. After a certain point people will be like, oh, but hey, didn't that building stretch as you changed it? And theoretically would have, but you get what I mean. There's no real need to do all these measurements and get the rightest perspective going on. Oh no. That darn dang it. So, in perspective, all this distance equals to this distance here. As the building goes further and further away into the horizon, this distance gets smaller. So now, for this last part here, it's supposed to be slightly longer, but how much longer? So, from over there, it's a little bit more than half. Could I say that it's this and a half? How do I calculate that though? Let's say that this is the half. I'm going through it over there. And I get the half of the half. And do this. Oh, would you look at that? It is this and a half. Boy, oh boy. Some calculation work we're doing today. And Kun with the other emote that I don't know what it is. Looks like a Pokemon though. Is that a Pokemon? And Niruga says it's Austin, Last Grey Wolf. A streamer who also happens to be furry. Isn't that the other way around? Isn't it a furry who also happens to be a streamer? Oh, alright, so this is gonna be that thing. So this is this and a half. Let's divide this in half. Find out where the half is. Duplicate the half to the other side in perspective. Then duplicate the side of the entire thing. By finding the half of the half, using that half of the half as a mirror point, a mirror, the ever-living bejesus out of that. Hey, over there. Boom. Then we get this point, and ta-da! I have the end of the building. When you know how to do this stuff, it goes so easy and so fast. But when you're a freshman in college, on your first semester, trying to figure out how to do this, it feels like the end of the world, really. and does not feel nice. But lo and behold, I learned about perspectives, and that is because a year before college I had bought a book on perspectives. I never really learned a whole lot by reading the book because I completely ignored it. I got it and posted pics on the gram, and I was like, okay, now it can sit on my bookshelf, which I don't have, so it can't sit on my desk, I suppose. Which is bad, kids. Don't do that. If you buy books, give them a read. They deserve it. And Kun says it's Core Bunny. The Grey Lop made this and the bleh and bleh emotes, which is a Bowser Jr., Koopa Kid, and an RIP emote. And Iruga says, I would say no. There are furry streamers like you whose stream focus is mostly being a furry / two furries, and Austin is just a streamer who plays game and has a general audience, but is also a furry, also just like Shenrir, who is a streamer who does stream things and happens to be furry on the side. I see. What do you know? You are right. Thanks for showing me the wrong of my ways and whacking me across the face with reason. Now I'm a smarter dog, and I know more about the world. And the people who inhabit it. Alright, so this is gonna be a hole in the wall as there's gonna be a little hole in the wall where vehicles can go through, but how do I decide the size of this hole? Anyway, how was your week, Iruga? Ouch. How was your week, Mido? How was your week, Oni? How was your week, Regis 8? How was everyone's this week? My week was kinda weird. Very slow. But part of this slowness feels to have come from the fact that the sudden heat wave hit us, and it was hot. Very unpleasantly hot. I don't like hot at all. Dip, 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 dip. So, Iruge, I see you're a person of... What's the word I'm looking for? I will... See, Doug, this is why you don't start sentences before going through them in your mind at least a few times. Otherwise, you start up sentences and you stop 3 words in because you forgot which words comes next. Oh well. What was I going to say is that, Iruga, you are a person who is known, well, not known, but who knows of the world and society and other such things. So tell me a little bit more about this whole streaming shenanigan. Tell me a little bit more about that. How does it work? This whole... This person is a streamer but happens to be furry on the side, and this person is a furry who happens to be a streamer on the side. And this person is a side who happens to be a furry streamer. And this person is a streamer furry who happens to be a side on the fur. What? Well, tell me all about that. All about that. Because I know you have like very, what's the term I'm looking for again? Oh, Doug, don't start sentences like this. Who knows a whole lot about society and how those things work and how those things happen. So, tell me all your observations on that, your theories and your beliefs and whatnot. I want to hear about them. Because I don't know if you remember, way too long ago in the past I asked you for advice on entertainment stuff such as the streams and YouTube videos and whatnot, and you gave me answers towards that. And not just like general answers, you gave me very concrete, very well thought out answers. So I believe that you do know more than your usual person about those things. And also you said that your week was mediocre. Well then, Midokami says, well, your was good. Finally done some art, was gonna get back to gym, but kinda didn't have opportunity. Maybe next week, haha. It's getting warmer here, spring is finally kicking in, so you're happy. Oh my god. Over here, we thought like autumn was kicking in and we were happy, but then the heat came back in and we're now we're sad because dog damn, I hate those warm weather. But anyway, so you're going to gym. You're going because you want to, because goals. What are your goals towards gym? And Rages8 says your week was boring. What? Did nothing happen? Nothing happened on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and now today? Because that is no bueno. Which I believe is Spanish for not good. I might be wrong though. And Iruka says, what kind of streaming shenanigans? Just your thoughts in general. I wanna hear about what you think of those things. Because if you have the remotes, it means that you're subscribed to them, which means that you enjoy their content to a certain degree to go out there and subscribe to them. So tell me a little bit more about that. Who are they? What sort of content do they stream? What is it about what they do that makes you be like, hey, I like your content so much that I'm gonna support you? I wanna hear about that. And Mito says, I wanted to lose some weight. Lately, because of college, I didn't have much opportunity to do any exercise, so belly is growing. Oh no. But big bellies are nice. But indeed, being healthy is also nice. What the hell? Right. So, Mido, what are your plans concerning gym? Are you planning to like just do gym? Do you like throw in more exercise in your life and get a little bit healthier? Do you plan on do you plan on actually, you know, also accomplishing other things, or it's just a replacement for the lack of exercise that you have not been having? Cause personally, I thought of going and doing gym, but only because I have not been doing any sort of exercising forever. I live a very sedentary life, which is bad for my health, you know. And I have never weighed as much as I do currently. This is the heaviest I have ever been in my life, and to a certain degree, it does bothers me. And I thought, well, if it does bothers me, maybe I should go and do something about it. But then I looked over at gym membership prices, and they're very expensive. I looked at other things I could do. One such thing was doing exercises at home, but I don't feel comfortable doing exercises at home. And going outside to do something in the street, such as walking, is boring AF. Going outside to hunt Pokemons is not as boring, it's actually pretty fun, but it's also pretty dangerous. Because as it happens, I live in a big city where crime rate is unfortunately high enough that it's best not to walk around in the streets with a cell phone out in the open. And same thing with riding a bike. I live in a high floor apartment, so taking the bike up and down every day is not gonna be very fun. Besides, there's not a whole lot of places to ride a bike over here, since like I said, it is a big city. There's cars all over the place, and you know, people in cars, they want to go places, so they have the priority, or they believe they do have the priority, which gives them more or less the reason to run over you. Well, in their minds at least it does. So, a bike is a viable option, but it's also a very dangerous option. So, in the end, it all boils down to most exercise options I can do are either boring, mind-numbing boring, expensive, or straight up dangerous. And that's where I lie with exercises and whatnot. But anyway, Iruga says, oh, I just have a Twitch Prime sub that I throw around randomly to a different creator each month, and it just happens to be Austin this month. Oh, I see. Aregi says just studies. What have you been studying? What subjects have you been looking into? if you don't mind sharing. One of us says walk with podcasts in your ears, taking the bike up and down is exercise. Yeah, it is. But it's also not a very fun exercise. Also, it degrades the bike much faster. Because I live in a very tiny apartment, so taking the bike in and out requires me taking moving other things around the house around and about to take out the bike. So it sounds like I'm making excuses, and I am, but I also have a point of saying that while it is a viable option, is not the easiest one and requires a whole lot of commitment. And when you're gonna start doing exercises, normally you wanna do something that doesn't require all that much commitment, so you can actually fit that in with your motivation reserves. Otherwise you're gonna hype yourself up the first couple of days, do something amazing, and then come the weekend you're gonna be completely exhausted and not wanting to do that ever again. Which would be bad. Huh. Also, welcome to the stream, 104. Sweden. How's it going? How are you doing? Amido says, mostly to replace your lack of activities lately, but getting some extra muscles would be nice too. Yeah, I don't know. I would really like to go back to doing the swimming lessons I used to do back in the beginning of the year. Problem is, they're expensive, like ridiculously expensive for the small amount of exercise I would be doing. It would be like $240 Brazilian reais a month for 3 classes per week, each class being like an hour long. Whereas gym membership is like 180 Brazilian reais, and the gym is open for me to go in and do whatever I want whenever I want. So all in all, it's not very good money wise. And as it happens, I'm even though I do make some money out of my art, I don't make enough to go spending on that sort of stuff. On the other hand, most other exercises that would be fun to do are actually sports, and sports normally involves you having a partner with it to do them, or a team of people with whom to do sports. And that's the problem. When you're a social anxiety having loner motherfucker like me, you don't have a whole lot of people with whom to go and practice sports with. And Regis, you study sociology and stuff. Ooh. Oh, to be fair, does sounds a little bit boring, yes, but also does sounds interesting. Depending on what part of sociology you're dealing with. And Mido says, I live in a small city, so taking the bike or playing some Pokemon Go would be a good way too. That's the good thing for you. You can do that. Whereas I can go out and go play some Pokemon Go on walks. It's dangerous. Very dangerous to kind of just walk about with your headphones hanging, well, with your entire phone hanging out in your hands, especially when you're like me and you have a very expensive phone. As for your suggestion, 104, of walking with podcasts in your ears, there's not a single podcast I follow. I do follow, well, I do every now and then get some audiobooks that are fun and interesting. But it has been a while since I haven't found a good audiobook to read, or rather to listen. And the only one I actively wanted to get into was The Expanse, because people have told me good things about it. But it's not available in Brazil, what do you know? Amazon doesn't very much care for it, or whoever publishes the book doesn't care for the potential Brazilian audience. So they're like, nah, I'm not gonna have our book in your country. So there you go. But it is an idea. One of us says exercise bike. What? Reagan says I went to the gym for the last 2 weeks. Oh, that's a whole lot of time. Anony says let me suck on your left nut, Doug. But that doesn't. That is an exercise, honey. Amido says here a month of gym is about $17, so you're fine with it. Yeah, over here it's not so cheap. And Kuhn says, you know, I should probably use D20 and the D20, the critical success and critical fail rolls more often when we do the D&D things. I should. It would be fun. And you can recommend a podcast, WCDP. We could have done porn. It's general nonsense talk. Well, tell me more about them. Now my curiosity has been piqued. And Reagan says that our gym are free for students. Oh, lucky you. I'm not a student of any sort of academy that has free gym. Although, that is like a possibility. Very, very, very shitty possibility. But I could always go do an entrance exam to college. And I feel like, depending on what I do, like what course option I choose, I feel like I could get in pretty easily. And I could get into college for free, as long as I pass an entrance exam. And once I'm in college, I can, well, use all of the benefits that comes with being associated with the state college, such as using their gymnastics shenanigans, if they have any. I guess they do somewhere. Anyway, Mido asks, what phone are you using, Doug? I'm using a Samsung Galaxy Note 8. It's expensive. A104 says exercise bike equals a stationary bike. You exercise at home, no cars, no carrying it up and down every day. But it is expensive, and the problem is I don't have space in my house to do that. I barely have space to walk around and do other things. And like I said before, I don't feel comfortable doing exercises at home. And Kun, you said they argue about over breakfast foods and talk about random stuff, ranging from the nerd to the whatever. I don't know. Another thing I don't like doing, I don't like about the whole walking thing is that, like I said, I live in a big city, so crime rates are very high. So no matter where I go, the more I go out in the streets, the more I'm exposing myself to the risk of being mugged or anything. And you may think, but Doug, it's alright. Just be more attentive of your surroundings, and no matter who you are and where you go, you're gonna get mugged eventually someday. So no point in spend your time inside the house without leaving. You're gonna be afraid of leaving. And where you would be right, you have no idea of the amount of articles that Google now gives me about, you know, people who have been recently murdered or mugged in my city. It's like out of control. I also live nearby slums, so that's also kind of shitty. It's just not a good place at all to, you know, go out for walkies every now and then. Especially alone. And there's also no place for me to go. I live like on the edge of the city, so either I go outside of the city or inside of the city, but then I also have to walk back. It's like there's really no good alternatives here. I will going out to walk, but with no real objective or real purpose other than walking out just for the sake of it. Which is the way exercise should be, you know, just walk out for the sake of exercise, but still, it doesn't feel that good when you don't have an objective, because for me at least there's so many, because I don't have a day job where it's like, you have to be at office every day from 9 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. My job is like, hey Doug, so long as you're home you can work, you don't have work hours, so whenever you work is whenever you say to yourself, okay, I'm gonna start work, is when you work, and whenever you say, okay, I'm gonna stop working, is when you stop working, and have deadlines. When you have that kind of job, every hour you're not at home doing something productive, you feel like you're wasting time. Which I do constantly. Feel like I'm wasting time. Even when I'm home doing stuff. So there you go. Anywho. Well, the first says, tell me about Note 8, please. It's a cell phone. It works. It does cell phone things. It isn't worth it. That much I can say. I mean, it is worth it if you want a last generation Samsung phone, but the whole king to this cell phone, to the Galaxy Note 8, is the fact that it comes with a pen, and you can easily buy on like pretty much anywhere a capacitive stylus to work with your phone, so that totally completely replaces the pen that comes with the phone. Besides, you're hardly ever gonna be doing more art and or work on your phone rather than on a piece of paper. For me, I like piece of paper best, so that's a thing. As for the camera, it is good, very good, but I don't doubt that there are better cameras out there, I mean phones out there with equally good cameras and a much cheaper price tag. Because I mean, for the price you pay on a On a Galaxy Note 8, you could easily buy a DSLR camera. So that's the thing. I guess that the size for me is a plus because I like big screens. This telephone is like very big and very hefty, so it's not as mobile as other mobile phones are, but the bigger screen does allows me to watch porn in much higher resolution, so that's cool. And Mado says, oh, that's nice, I have a Samsung S8 Plus. I think my boyfriend has one of those as well. An S8 Plus. It's just an S8, I don't know, one or the other. And one of us says, what do you think about the curved screen? I have not seen anything about it, but that seems like a whole lot of potential, but also seems like maintenance is gonna get crazy expensive as time goes on. And then it says judging Doug. And one of us says, does your BF judge as you exercise? I won't say that he does, but nonetheless I don't feel like I don't feel comfortable exercising when he's at home. And since the days at which he can work from home are very like random, it's hard to stick to a routine. In general, I don't like doing any sort of exercise with people around me looking, because I feel extremely self-conscious. And how is Note 8 camera, especially inside? And Doug, no, the S Pen has pressure sensitivity. It does, but not every drawing application works with it. So that's a downside. And the applications that do work with it, it works fine, but it's nothing that a normal stylus couldn't solve. Because, you know, some let me pause the music because I need to think to explain this. The idea is that the S Pen has a sensitivity on the pen itself, so if you touch harder or lighter with the pen, it changes the weight of the line. But if you were to draw a line with your finger, depending on how hard you're pressing on the screen, the cell phone also senses that. So if you press harder with your finger, it also has more or less the same effect, except that with your finger it's harder to gauge the sensitivity. Like you can't very well tell how thick or how thin a line you're doing, because, well, most of your finger is on the screen, so you can't see shit. But when you use a stylus, like any stylus capacitive stylus you can buy anywhere, they also have this problem where, well, not a problem per se, but their capacitive stylus, they don't have as fine a tip as the S Pen, but it simulates this pressure like you would do with your finger very well. So in the end, it doesn't really matter. For the intents and purposes of using a cell phone as like substitute for paper and working, you're gonna do roughly the same job. The tools in this case doesn't matter that much. It's more of a thing of the medium, because drawing a mobile on an on an Android is never gonna equate to to drawing on paper or on a computer where you're familiar with stuff. So in the end, you can achieve the same results no matter which way you take, just that one way feels a little bit more appropriate and the other way feels a little bit more hacked, but also works just as well. and cheaper. If you have like a much cheaper phone with capacitive screen and a stylus you can buy on any gift shop, you save yourself hundreds of dollars and you still get the same drawing experience. So all in all, I don't think it's worth it. But but I didn't buy this phone because I thought it was like, oh my dog, I need this because this is the ultimate thing I need in my life for drawing and shit. I more so bought this phone because it was the latest one in the market when I bought it, like a year ago. And I wanted to buy something that will last me several years, so I don't plan on changing cell phones for the next couple of years. So I wanted to get the latest phone I could get. That's so I could not worry about, getting left behind as years come by. Because I did buy back in 2016 when my phone broke. I bought an Asus Zenfone 2, which has a horrible to pronounce name. A Zenfone 2, and it had a whole lot of problems. Starting with the fact that it used a weird processor, so a shitload of applications didn't work with it because of its weird processor. And on top of that, eventually Asus released Zenfone 3, and as soon as they did release the Zenfone 3 Max, they dropped support for the Zenfone 2, so I had an obsolete phone within a year of its release, and it started to have problems with battery and whatnot. So in less than a year, it was already a very shitty phone of me having it, and yet I went with it for another year until I said, no, this sucks. I'm gonna get a phone, but now this time around I'm not gonna go cheap. I'm gonna go slightly better. I'm gonna throw in a little bit more money, but at least I want to have a phone that will last me for a long time. And also, hello there, Leo. Welcome to the stream. And people, indeed, they are not fun. One of you said that S Pen has a pressure sensitivity and smaller tip, plus the hoverability, of course. That is why I like it. You would just want the S Pen to take your longer, but does the curve annoys you? The curved screen? Oh yes, it does. It's shitty. I mean, it's kinda awkward to work with it because a whole lot of applications has this like, touch the left side of your screen and swipe right to pull in a tab with menus and whatnot. But because of the curved screen and the cell phone case I use, it's very awkward to pull this side tab most of the time. So it's something I kinda don't like very much. And the uses of this curved screen isn't good. So there's nothing like that is improved because of the curved screen. So all in all, I don't like it. And one of us says, I don't like exercising in front of people. No, Infinite Painter is a good for the draw with the thing. And yes, I know that's because you use more of the finger rather than pressure. Oh, that true. Well, with the capacitive stylus that I have has a very big tip, so if I press it harder, more of the tip comes in contact with the screen and it causes more pressure, so it's pretty much the same thing. And I feel like the S Pen is more like drawing tablet, plus you can use it to hover over things, which doesn't work with regular pens. Yeah, I mean, it is good. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that it's shitty. It is very good, but I'm saying that it's not worth all the money you would pay on a cell phone when you can have when you can get another cell phone that is much cheaper and buy a stylus pen for like $1 on a gift shop. So you can save yourself hundreds of dollars by getting another phone and get more or less the same experience in the end. So unless you're going on meetings and taking notes on your phone all day, I don't think that it's worth it. And one of us said, yeah, your Note 3, it's like 5 years, but you kinda need to upgrade and you think you will go for Note 8. Oh, sure thing then. I mean, like I said, it's not a bad phone at all. It's very good. If you can afford it, then sure, go for it. But then again, I consider that most people normally can't easily afford most people cannot easily afford a high-end phone like the Note 8. I couldn't afford it. I had to throw in a lot of money at it. And I had to spend a year paying for it, so it was a whole lot of money for someone like me to be dropping on a phone. But like I said, I wanted a phone that would last me for years, so better than buying a cheap phone and having to buy another cheap phone within a year or two, I decided to go and buy a high-end phone. With the money I could buy like 3 cheap phones, but anyway. And I know it says, yeah, ban 1. Too many questions, not enough reason to ask. Why, Oni? What do you mean? And one of course says I need a new phone and I need to hear what other people think about the ones. You're looking about the one you're looking on. Huh. Yeah. Honestly, that's what I think. It is a very good phone, but you can but if you're buying it for the draw on the screen capabilities, you can get a much better phone for much less money, or rather get the same experience for cheaper. But that's just me. If you can afford it and you want it, go for it. If not, go for something else. And also, Tiger, hello there, welcome to the stream. How's it going? How are you doing? How did you sleep today? Hopefully you slept well. Amido says, yeah, phones like that are really expensive. That they are really expensive. Like I think I spent like 3,000 Brazilian reais on this phone. Like with 3,000 reais. If I saved just a little bit more, I could have bought like for like 4,000 or 5,000 Brazilian reais, I could have bought a 22 inches drawing tablet. Those Hawaiian drawing tablets, which would have served me much better in the whole art making business than this phone has. So it is really expensive, really expensive. I think we recently brought a new refrigerator which was cheaper than my phone, so what the fuck. Well, that's about a bad that was cheaper than my phone. I think that individually the most expensive thing on this house is my phone. Nothing else in this house costs as much as my phone, except maybe perhaps my computer, but they're individual components. So that's crazy. Amido says, yeah, phones like that are really expensive, and one of us says, yeah, but Note 3 wasn't cheap, but it has been working well apart from shitty camera indoors. Oh no, the camera of this one is amazing. Indoors, outdoors, even on complete nighttime, it's good. Like on very dark darkness, it is good. And Tiger says, how about the ones that cost like $3,000 and stuff? It'd be getting crazy. Oh yeah. The phone game has just like changed so goddamn much. It's scary now. Amido says, lately your friend bought the Samsung S10 and that was hell expensive. Well, now you know who to ask for favors. For money favors next time. And Mido says, lately your how you said that, sorry? Oni says, wanna know another big tip? It's Doug's dick. His dick's got a big tip and it's hard to get it in sometimes. What the hell are you talking about, Oni? I still half asleep, Oni. Is that what's going on? And Tiger, you went to bed late. Why? What were you doing that made you go to bed late, Tiger? Were you playing games? Were you watching anime? What were you doing? I realized the craziest thing the other day, by the way. By other day, I mean like yesterday. Yesterday night. I realized that I do, because I am a subscriber to Amazon, to Twitch Prime, I have Amazon Video. And all this time, whenever I thought, I have Amazon Video, but I can't watch it because most shows are locked in my country. But that's because I was trying to access AmazonVideo.com. Whereas I should be trying to access AmazonVideo.com.br. When I tried, holy shit! There's a huge catalog of shit I can watch on Amazon. Well, it's pretty much like the same stuff as Netflix, so it isn't all that amazing. But still, there's new shows in there that it's not on Netflix, and lately we have binge watched pretty much everything we had to watch, so we were out of shows to watch. So much out of shows that my boyfriend, who is like very grumpy with choosing shows to watch, he said, sure, let's watch this Rick and Morty, people say that are good. We watch it and it's alright. It's kind of cringy. It's at times. I don't doubt that like episode like 98 it gets like really good with the gut punches, but the beginning is kind of rough. I kind of I don't know. Anyway, so we started watching American Gods, and that's weird, but it has potential, so we'll see how that goes. And then it says it's well, so that 104 says, I'm not sure if the S Pen is a deal breaker for you, but you really like having the pen inside the phone. Oh yeah, that definitely helps. It helps quite a lot. Because, you know, if you have a stylus, you don't need to remember taking with you whenever you go out. It really helps. But anyway. And 104 says, but I will miss the IR Blaster. I am so annoyed at phones these days since they remove FM radio, remove IR Blaster, but I had a fucking curved screen. They remove the FM radio antenna, but antenna. Oh yeah, they actually don't have a FM radio included. Well, you can always download an app and watch it offline, but anyway. Or hear it online. What is an IR Blaster? I have no idea what the hell it is. Oh, so if I want a good camera for indoors or night stuff, Note 8 is good, is what you're saying? Yes, that is what I'm saying. Nothing will ever beat the Lumia cameras I had before, because before I had a Nokia Lumia 820. It had like the most fucking amazing camera I have ever seen on a phone. Of course, it's outdated because it's a 2012, 2013 phone, but if they kept up if they have kept up their camera game up to today, I don't doubt that it's got like some fucking crazy camera. But who knows even. But yeah, as far as camera goes, the Note 8 has good cameras. I wonder first, you said that Tiger was kissing guys, I bet. Have you, Tiger? Been kissing guys? And then it says I'm still half asleep, didn't sleep from the coughing. Oh no. And one first says, but yeah, I am sorry, Tiger, that I snapped. I have just been getting a bit flack for getting tired, Booth Oni saying poop about you. And then it says Rick and Morty is a show you kinda don't like. One first says American God seems interesting, Rick and Morty seems like shit, but the creators is even bigger shit as he is against unions. Really? And our blaster is like your TV remote shooting pew pew infrared signals to control stuffs. Really? It doesn't have that. Let me look that up. Because now I'm confused. Galaxy Note 8 IR Blaster. Does it have that? Does the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 feature an IR Blaster? However, the last time Samsung included an IR blaster on its device was with the Galaxy S6 in 2015. Since then, the company strangely decided to ditch the handy sensor from its flagship devices for no reason at all. If you were hoping that Samsung would change the trend with the Galaxy Note 8 this year, you are going to be disappointed. I mean, from a consumer standpoint, it makes little to no sense. From a developer, I guess is the word, standpoint, it makes a whole lot of sense to take out the IR blaster. But Doug, what the hell do you mean by it makes sense to remove that feature that I didn't know phones had? Well, I personally think that the reason why they have maybe taken it out is because lately more and more they're trying to push in the smart houses thing. So you have this whole smart house shit thing going on, that your phone can control other Samsung devices around your house, like your fridge, your television, your air conditioner, your unit, your Samsung Roomba, I guess. Whatever you have, there's probably some other Samsung device you have on your house that may not yet be smart, but if you were bought more recently, it would have been a smart device which you could be able to control with your phone. And if you don't, your phone not having the IR blaster anymore is a huge incentive for you to go and buy a smart device, because so far you have been, I can control my television with my cell phone, but now they have removed that feature. But I have grown used to controlling my television with my phone. How can I go back to that life? And then you go, I can buy a smart TV to do that. And I can still control it with my phone. But I don't need the IR thing anymore. So that's what I think. I think that they would probably ditch the IR blaster to push their smart appliances, smart electronics. That's my guess, which is, I think, is a goddamn good guess. If you don't think so, well, I'm gonna cry if you don't think so. Hee ho. Well, first is Note 4 was the last Note with IR blaster. And true smart thing is also they waste space with fingerprint scanners, iris scanners, and scanners, etc. Oh my god, does the Note 8 has an NS scanner? How does that work? What? Oh my god, why would a cell phone need to scan my butt? I'm scared now. Oh no. I don't want to have my butt scanned. How about my cell phone? What the hell? That's so scary, yo. I could be using the eraser, and yet I'm using the the least effective way to erase lines here. Oh well. How did that window go? Okay, went like that. All right. One of says you are pretty on point, Douglas. Samsung sells smart TVs, so well, smart TVs, smart air conditioners, smart fridges. I don't know why you would need to connect your cell phone to a fridge. Like, what sort of function a fridge could throw into your cell phone that could like help? Unless it has like indoors cameras to watch, monitor what you have inside your fridge, which I don't think is a feature. I don't see the point of connecting your cell phone to your fridge. But yeah, there's a shit ton of smart devices out there made by Samsung that increases the appeal if you were to go and buy them, instead of still having an RR blaster which you need to configure and it's kind of finicky to use. Anyway, and Tiger says I was just reading late. And Wonderforce says it does not have an N as a scanner. That was a joke. And Tiger says, but scanner could be useful. How so? One of forces, you would scan everyone's butts to compare for science. Amido says scan their shafts, better experience. That is a better experience. Which reminds me of a thing I thought about a while ago. But after reading a little bit more about the technology, I learned that you couldn't do it. But the prospect of being able to do it was funny in itself. One of four says I can't scan with your USB stick in your pants. What? No. One of four, that's not scanning, that's probing. And then it says how to control Oni. Feed him, make him have fun. Instead of being a comma, that should be a semicolon there. Oni. How to control Oni, semicolon. Feed him, make him have fun. Then take him to your room to suck your dick and eat your ass. Ow. Well, now I know how to control Oni. And also Donald Duck emote rigged this egged. But the thing I have thought a while ago is when Google released this application that was kind of a ruler, an AR ruler. for you to measure distances and shit. And I thought, ha, can you measure your penis with that? Apparently you cannot, because for the AI ruler to work, you needed to scan some sort of flat surface, such as the ground. And then by scanning the ground, the texture, the pattern of the ground, it is able to build sort of a surface, and can more or less accurately measure distances on that surface with like an error margin of like a couple centimeters, I think, or rather an inch. So it's like, it's this size, give or take an inch. And if you're measuring things like your penis, first, it's not a flat surface with a pattern or texture, so that plan already goes out of the window. Plus, if you're measuring your dick, you probably don't want to give or take an inch to whatever measures you get. Especially if you're doing that with your phone. So, yeah. I thought about that. Then I realized, oh no, you can't actually do that. Oh well, guess nobody will go around measuring their penises with this Google Measure app then. I know, 104, don't probe butts. It's not very nice of you to go about doing that. So don't. Just don't. Like them, those flies. And also on a slight side note, 104. Be slightly more mindful of your attitude. If only is causing you to get angry, be mindful not to take it out on other people. Just a pro tip. But anyway. So, in the end, the part of this drawing that I'm less concerned about is this whole building, because the building itself, you can easily deal with it just by using what's it called? Oh shit. Just by using geometry, I can deal with this building and make it look good. Well, good-ish. As good as I can make anything look, considering my skills. But so long as it like respects the perspective and whatnot, it should already look good. Or rather, should look like it makes sense. But the crowd in front here is gonna be like several many people, and they are gonna be completely annoying to draw. So I'm totally not looking forward to that. But that is a very integral part of this page, so I have to draw them, and that is not gonna be fun. So this here goes like that then. This goes up. Little column things. Also, by the way, Tiger, what were you reading that made you go to bed late? I ended up going to bed late because we were watching American Gods. I don't remember who, but somebody recently recommended that to me. I think it was Necroid at Scrub. He said like, "Hey Dad, watch this, it's good." I'm like, okay, I'll go and watch that. And I don't know, the beginning is kinda I mean, sure, television wise, you're always able to grasp your audience if you start up with a big fight or something, but I don't know, I feel like it has to be deserved. Like, spoiler alert, the beginning of American Gods, the first episode at least, does feature like within the opening minutes, like 5 minutes in, there's already a big fight scene going on, which is very interesting because you see where it comes from. It's very, oh okay, I can see that happening, cool. Then much later on, there's this fight scene on a bar, and it just feels forced and it feels like cringy almost. It feels like, really, TV series, I expected so much of you and you disappoint me so. I shake my head at you in shame. Just shame. When this when the main character kinda does a bar brawl with this other character, and thing is, this other character seems to show up for no apparent fucking reason. He just shows up and is in general being very annoying, very not annoying per se, very obnoxious. Actually, let me look up the definition of obnoxious. Obnoxious definition. Actually, I want to hear what Google has to say about that, because Google knows all the things. Okay, Google, what is the definition of obnoxious? Oh, really, Wi-Fi? Are you not connected? Why? We have Wi-Fi. Why wouldn't you connect with my Wi-Fi cell phone? Nothing works in this house anymore. Fuck them. Technology. Okay, Google. What is the definition of obnoxious? Well, the definition of obnoxious is extremely unpleasant. Oh, just that. I thought that the definition of obnoxious was something that is annoying without the intention of being annoying. Like, oh, you're obnoxious, so you're not. So it's like you actually think that you're being cool and just being yourself, but your behavior and your demeanor is obnoxious. Like, oh, this person's not aware that they are being unpleasant. But apparently no, obnoxious is just something that is just the next level of annoying. There's annoying, then there's obnoxious. I see. Or rather, unpleasant. Unpleasantly annoying. Anyway, there's this character that's being really obnoxious, and you don't see why this character is being obnoxious. It's just being. It's he's just being annoying because he has no reason whatsoever. And then he just shows up and starts flaunting like to the main character like, oh, look at me, I can do coin tricks, haha, you piece of garble. I can do coin tricks, you can do coin tricks. And then there's this whole coin trick segment where they just keep like doing coin tricks. Like, oh, I can make coins appear and disappear like magic. And you see the main character being like a champ, trying his best to avoid getting bothered by this character. They're like, alright, I get it. You're trying to annoy me. Alright. Is that your best? Alright, just shut up. And you're like, wow, this main character is a champ. This guy is being really obnoxious, and at any moment you feel like he's just gonna punch this guy in the face. But he doesn't. Because up until then, so many other things and situations have been kind of pushing this character over the edge. But he has always remained his composure, but then shows up this character who is being obnoxious, and he maintains his composure, and you're like, wow, the main character is being a champ. Then this obnoxious character just says, hey, I'll teach you my magic coin trick if you beat me in a fight. And the main character is like, nah, I won't fight you. And then he's like, oh, come on, fight me. Come on, fight me. Your wife is dead, come on, fight me. And then he goes and starts beating the shit out of this other character. And like, what? So many characters up until now have like got up right up into his face and being like, hey, your wife is dead, ha ha ha. And he remained his composure, but then this character just shows up, says, I'll teach you my coin trick, and then he says, no. Ah, your wife is dead, and then he loses his composure? Feels a little weird. A little too on the nose for me. But anyway, I'm not a TV show's writer, so what the fuck do I know about that? Anyway, then they have this brawl fight scene thing, and I don't know, that whole scene just felt like too gratuitous. Didn't feel like it added anything. Felt like it was there just because. Just to show that, like, this character, he can actually kick some ass if he wishes to do so. Felt like that. Didn't feel good. And well, it's weird, but anyway. Great show, 10 out of 10. We'll watch again. One of the first as I know, hence why I apologize. I just assumed it was like a previous instance when you got shit for reacting. What? What? I just assumed it was like a previous instance when you got shit for reacting when you should not take. Huh. And then it says Doug secretly plumbing a restroom. We promise I won't mow unloudly. What? Tegan says I was reading a comic book called Atomic Robo. Also, I bet Oni has a good booty. Does he? Gotta scan that anus. Get out of your Galaxy Note 10, which the anus is scanning. Also, you have read American Gods, the book. Oh, I hope it is good. What's up with Atomic Robo? Never heard of that. And Leo says Obnox Eos. And that's the phonetic way to spell that. Adjective, extremely unpleasant. Obnoxious odors, for example. Synonyms, unpleasant, disagreeable, nasty, distasteful, offensive, objectionable, unsavory, unpalatable, dislikable, off-putting, awful, terrible, dreadful, frightful, revolting, repulsive, repellent, repugnant, disgusting, odious, vile, foul, abhorrent, loathsome, nauseating, nauseous, sickening, hateful, detestable, execrable, execrable. Never heard of that word before. Okay, gotta look up that word. Abominable, insufferable, intolerable, unacceptable, despicable, contemptible, beyond the P. What? Okay, Google. What is the definition of execrable?
This is the definition of execrable. Extremely bad or unpleasant.
Oh, execrable. Well then.
Execrable.
Execrable. Learn to pronounce. No, thank you. Not ever gonna use that word in my day. No one is ever gonna use that word. Tiger says odiously or disgustingly objectionable, extremely unpleasant, that is obnoxious. Synonyms would be noxious, sickening, detestable, off-putting, unsavory, distasteful. Leo says, look at these dog faces. But Leo, I'm working. Protect them, those dogs. Do they look happy? And kinda desperate and confused or whatever is going on. They look like they're enjoying themselves or something. Nonetheless, 104 says, got shit for reacting. Was pinged in the middle of the night with an unpleasant message by Oni. I got annoyed and responded in kind. Gotcha here to behave. What? Oni, are you going out of your way to provoke 104? You shouldn't do that. It's not what dogs do. And Tiger says it's the story about a self-aware robot built by Nikola Tesla because people can't come up with original characters. Nonetheless, reading sounds fun. The concept of reading words that have been written by other people in another part of the world, and those words present characters and concepts that have not yet in any way been a part of your life up until now. That feels nice. This whole concept of reading sounds fun. But I think the last book I physically read was like The Silkworm, or rather Cormoran Strike, The Silkworm. That was like years ago. I don't know, let's travel in here. I was back in my hometown and I said, my new boyfriend, Lion, asked me to go visit him, so I'm going to go and visit him. And then I went. But in the travel to and fro, I was reading that book. Which reminds me, I never told you guys the story of how I moved in with him. It's not that exciting though. I just showed up. Well, he asked me to come and visit. I visited him. We spent like a week or two together, just see how things working here. And apparently he liked my company well enough. I liked his company well enough. We did. I got to meet his friends who were nice to me and whatnot. Then 2 days later, a week or so later, I was going back home to my hometown. And then I was like, that was fun. I could do that again. Then a few months later, not a few months later actually, like several months later, I think like 6 months later. We hadn't seen each other in forever. He was like, hey Doug, do you want to come here again this time around? And I said, sure, please, yes, I want to come. I want to see you again. And then I came. And I don't remember exactly what was the whole point, the idea really. I guess I was just like, you know what, I'm starting, instead of doing like the other time where I buy my ticket in to and fro, this time I'm just gonna buy my ticket to, and I don't know, I'll see how long, and I'll stay there for a while, see when I feel like getting my ticket fro. And at first I thought it was gonna be like, I brought enough clothes for like a couple of weeks, but I ended up staying 6 months until I went back to my hometown. I was like, hey father, hey mother, I came to get more clothes and my computer, which I did get, and then I was. And then I flew back here. Ended up staying for 3.5 years, and I have been here ever since. So I never really theoretically agreed like, okay, you live here now. Never really verbalized that. We're just like, hey, feel free to stay for as long as you like. And I was like, oh cool, sure, I will. And theoretically he never really asked me to go back. That's the story of how I came to live here. Of how we came to move together, rather. That sounds a little bit more romantic than just saying, hi, I came to live here. Alright, now I have to do this stairwell thing, which is gonna be annoying. And one of four says the two side dogs look like they stare at poison. And Tega says, yeah, it's entertaining. It deals a lot with like wild, mad science, time travel, and then multi-dimensions and other things. Oh boy. Might be cool. There's this amazing comic book series that I want to go back to reading. Sex Criminals. Actually, let me see if there has been new issues of them yet. I think there have been. I just haven't read them in forever. Sex Criminals. But Doug, what is the story behind Sex Criminals? The idea is that this guy and this girl, they have sex together, but this guy and this girl, they have this thing that this girl is like, oh no, I have this thing that whenever I orgasm, I stop time. And this guy also has this thing that, hey, when I orgasm, I stop time. But then they have sex, and they both realize that they orgasm at the same time, and they both stop time together, and they're able to move around and do whatever while time is stopped. And they say, cool, we can do that. That is a thing we can do. That makes sense. And then once they figure that out, they go and do the thing that makes the most sense for someone that just figured out that they can stop time by orgasm, which is they go and start robbing banks. So yeah, they start robbing banks, and as they go about robbing banks, they find out about this kind of time police that is like, hey, you are stopping time and robbing banks, and you shouldn't be doing that. Because you will break the rules of the world or some weird shit if you keep doing that. And then they're like, no way, Jose, we're gonna keep robbing banks. And It's shit because our lives is out of whack and we need to figure shit out. It's crazy, it makes no sense whatsoever, but it's amazing, I love it. And no, there haven't been any new comics. They released the 5th volume, which I have not yet read, so there's like 5 issues for me to read. 100 pages of pure sexy goodness for me to go and check out. But yeah, definitely go and read Sex Criminals, it's an amazing comic. Leo says I have stalked and just about downright hunted your lion for years. And finally he may come to visit you. You need help. Oh no. What do you mean? You hunted him for years. Yep. And what sort of help do you need, Leo? What can we do to help you? Also, what the hell have I increased the size of my pen that much? Because, I mean, if you need moral support, all of us are here for you, Leo. Just tell us what you need and we'll start procuring that. Alright, here we have a little problem. Because more or less around here, I guess. Things that are like flat, you can barely see the flatness, but as they go down you can start to see more and more of the flatness of the thing. I mean, you can see the top of the thing, but the further up they go, the less and less you can perceive this flatness. The less you can see the surface and the flatter this thing looks. But Doug, what does this mean? It means that this stairwell here, as it goes up, you should be able to see less and less of the top of it. Makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, it's physics, it's geometry, it's the world. Understanding of matter and shit. That works most of the time. I mean, I hope it does. Okay. I'm gonna assume that that looks about right-ish. And Tiger says, so what is bugging you about this? And it says, yeah, I got good booty. Tiger's so good. My partner is itching so bad to come back. What? And Tiger says, to me, if it's your first meeting, you can understand being nervous. And Wolf says, thumbs up. My canine thumbs up. Hello there, Wolf. Welcome to the stream. Wolf morning. Or Wolf afternoon. Wolf delicious Friday. I'm a lazy boy. By which I mean, I'm very lazy. I totally do not feel like working at all. I have to finish this comic page today because that is my job as it happens. But I don't feel like working. I feel like just like chilling out here talking to you guys. But I have to work, but I don't want to work. God damn it. But anyway, Leo, you said I'm nervous about meeting, just about how long it may last, given how it started. Huh. What do you mean, Leo? How did it started? And also, Wolf Rain 90, or rather 90. How are you doing today? In this, what day is it again? What is that day that comes after Tuesday, before Saturday, but it also isn't Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Tuesday? It has a name. It has a name, and I know it ends with day. It's something day. And Wolf, you said it's weekend. It's all you care about. Yeah, that's it. It's a weekend day. Thank you, Wolf. Yeah, it's how are you doing this weekend day? Over here, I'm happy. I couldn't be happier about the weather. Last night we had like severe thunderstorms, which was kinda concerning. Because for a moment there we thought the power was going down or something, but it didn't. So we were able to sleep with the air conditioning on and whatnot. And today the weather is much colder, which is amazing. It's like 24 degrees or something Celsius. So all in all, I'm having an amazing day. Amazing weekend day. How about you, Wolf? How's your weekend day going on thus far? Tell me all about it. Tell me all about your weekend day as I draw this thing. This is starting. Also, this is the reason why when you do perspectives you try to avoid curved stuff, because there's no math in the world that can help you with curved stuff when it comes down to perspectives. For doing perspectives, then you say, I want to do this curved stuff. It's like, boy, oh boy. Or you can calculate how to do those curves, but you're probably better off freehanding that shit. I don't have a camera here. I mean, I do have a webcam, but I would have to connect it and shit, and I don't want to do that. But if I had it connected and ready to go, I could show you guys some pictures of this book that I have, How to Draw by Scott Robertson, which shows all the theory behind drawing curved lines in perspective, and it's like it makes you think and reconsider your life choices. Like, boy, do I really want to be an illustrator? Maybe being an engineer wasn't that bad. If I'm gonna be math anyway, might as well do the math that kind of pays me 5 times more and allows me to run with the upper circles of society. Oh well. And well, if you're just having a coffee, unwinding a bit, probably gonna chill on Guild Wars some more. We've been having therapy sessions again and they are kicking your ass. Oh no. They're not supposed to kick your ass, I don't think. And also, out of the blue, like most things with me are, if you do feel like talking about these therapy sessions that you've been having, I would be more than willing and interested in hearing about them. Because anything that has to do with psychology and mental health, like, please, daddy, fill me up with that. Give me all the information about those things, because it's a field that deeply interests me. But if you don't want to talk about that, then sure thing, no pressure. Just hope that you're doing good and that they have in some way been helping you. Okay. Okay, I guess I can leave those lines there. They're kinda helpful for now. These lines here, not so much. I was using them as references, but I guess now I don't need those references anymore. By the way, how much are you liking Guild Wars? Guild Wars was pretty fun, but as with most games, especially Memorpix, I fell out of touch with it after a while. And Wolf says, that's very sweet of you, and wow, it's really fun with friends. That is why I'm enjoying it. It's a very casual game and free to play, so alone I probably wouldn't bother. Yeah, I don't know, I'm weird with games. There's a lot of games that are pretty much only fun if you're playing with friends, but the prospect of asking people to play games with me freaks me the shit out, and I end up now never asking people to play games with me. For many reasons. Many reasons. But that's me. Speaking of games, boy, oh boy. My boyfriend spent the good part of yesterday. No, what day was it? Wednesday. He spent like the best portion of his time home on the Wednesday, back from work, just trying to mod Skyrim to play it. After I told him, hey, look at that, they released Elder Scrolls Blades for the mobile, haha. How about it? You play it and give it a look. And he gave it a look and said, it's shitty. If I'm gonna play that, I'd rather play Skyrim. And I said, yeah, I had the same thought. But me, I thought, nah, I'm not gonna play Skyrim. For two reasons. If I were to play Skyrim, I would play the VR version, because I bought it, might as well play it. And because, well, playing Skyrim is ludicrous if you're not gonna throw in some mods. Like, the idea of playing vanilla Skyrim is, at this day and age, is like, what the hell is wrong with you? So, getting all that set up would take me too much time, which I don't have because I have to do those sort of works here. So I end up never playing those things. But he came back home and he spent some time playing Skyrim. And boy, oh boy, was he enjoying that. Playing mods and shit. And because he has been playing that, and we also didn't have a whole lot of TV shows to watch yesterday night, I ended up staying up late on the computer, much later than usual. Normally we go to bed at around like 9:30, 9 whatever, to watch a couple episodes of some TV show and then go to bed. But we ended up staying here up until around 11 something. So for the first time ever, I was able to catch one of the Critical Role's streams while it was still live, which I did. I catch like just the very beginning of it to see how things look, and wow, everybody looks so old. It's like, wow, it's been like 3 years since the show started. Why is everyone so old already? What happened? What sort of stress befell them? But anyway, they're not playing the first campaign anymore. They have finished that one and they have started a second campaign, so that's cool. But also, in starting this second campaign, the production value of the show as a whole like skyrocketed. They have this introduction sequence that is amazing. It plays a little song and shit. It's crazy. It's like, what the fuck? And it just blew me out. And I was like, holy shit. I really need to finish watching the first campaign and follow up on the second one. Get up to date with the current episodes, which I'll never be able to watch because their live stream that is like 7 AM Pacific time for me starts at like 11 in the night, in the evening. So I can't watch them even if I want. And they start at 11 and they last for 4 hours, so that's gonna end like 3 in the morning for me. So there's no way I can catch them up and follow them up. But still, I got excited seeing that. So good on them. Their show came a long way. Because I've been watching like the very first episodes to catch up with the whole thing. And it's crazy because like in the first episodes they were just beginning and you see everyone being so very humble about everything. The show being very simple visually and production value wise. It's so simple, and then BAM! 3 years later it's this behemoth of a show. But anyway, Wolf, you said we should play something together sometime, Doug. I'd be totally up for that. I usually only play games that are at least 3-year-olds too. Oh no. Oh my dog, we totally should play something together, but I have no idea what to play together. Oh damn. Oh damn. Well, if either of us ever come up with something to play together, let's do that. And Tiger says, wait, it does. I never knew that, Doug. What? That what? That what? What have I said? I completely forgot what I said. Amido says, we could always play with some of us from server. Oh, yes, I can, but like I said, maybe that's what Tiger was referring to. You know, inviting people to play games with me. Video games, Leo. Freaks me the shit out. So even if I find a very amazing game that I'm very eager to share with people, I get anxious and nervous and stressed over it, and I end up never doing anything. But I'll look into that, Mido. And Wolf, I will think of something. Alio says, because just saying play with me can get weird. Alio, you meowed and Kun, you squeaked. And then it says, what has 2 legs and isn't alive? Batman's lower half after Bane broke his spine? That has 2 legs and isn't alive. And Tiger says, oh, that it makes you nervous to ask people to play games. Yes, it does. Oni says, Doug gives me anxiety when he doesn't want to sing you. When I don't want to sing you. And just dunks you in the singing being to fix the problem. I never really dunk you at the singing being, I just say no. And then leave it at that. Kun says, I squeak. I exclamation squeak, therefore I am exclamation mark. And it says, nope, not this time, Douglas. It's me. Emilio says, if you would ever want to please. What? To please play something? Just hit me up. Alright, Emilio, I'll keep that in mind. Alio says, on another note, I have had a gaggle of things invading your apartment for the last month or so. What? Why? What? How? What happened? And what was I saying? Oh yeah. A while ago, I was looking up this game. Well, I already have had this game because if you guys, any of you guys ever followed like Soviet Womble, he's a very big Twitch streamer. He does the Bullshittery series on YouTube as well. He plays a whole lot of Arma with his clan mates, and if you watch him play that game, you watch him playing Arma, you're like, holy shit, this is the most amazing game ever, because his editing makes the game looks amazing, and you know, having friends also make everything looks amazing. But anyway, I thought, holy shit, I want to get that, and then I bought Arma 3 to play with friends. And then I decided, oh, let me see if Arma has a single player campaign, and lo and behold, it does. I said, sure, I'll play that first. Get situated with the game and game things. Then I started playing Arma 3, the campaign. This is single player campaign. And while it is good, it is also incredibly difficult. And I'm like, holy shit, you need to be very good at this. But then again, it's the kind of game that is like supposed to be a combat simulator, like a real life war simulator. So you're not supposed to go about guns ablazing and shooting everything that moves. You're supposed to go very slowly, very methodically, taking care, and generally trying your best not to die. Which is what people do when they're in the battlefield. But anyway, I played the campaign mode just a bit, enough to get a taste for the game, but also enough that I would like, okay, this is interesting, but it would be best with people. Then I thought, where can I find people to play this game with? And there is another, coincidentally, another Dutch streamer that has Arma 3, and I was like, hey, wanna play together? And by this point I was already like practically shaking with an anxiety, just asking him to, hey, let's play this game together someday. And then he said, sure, let's. And then I was opening the game to test it, set it up, see if it works, and I found out that my there was something going on with the game, that it was like running very poorly on my computer. Probably some problem with my old CPU or whatever, because I think I changed my CPU in recent times. Anyway, the game had some problem with my old CPU and wasn't running on a good condition. It was running very poorly. So I said, oh no, there's something wrong and I need to fix it. I don't know what it is, but I need to fix this problem with the game. So I don't think we'll be able to play together. And then he was like, oh, okay then. We're like, oh, next, after I fix it, let's play and let's see how that goes. And he was like, sure thing, no worries, no rush. Take your time. But secretly, deep down, a huge portion of me was like relieved that I didn't have to play with him anymore, because I was so anxious and so anxious about the prospect of playing together with someone. And that is kind of sad. But that is also who I am and how I am. So next time you guys go about being like, oh, Doug is so cool and has such a huge giant dick, I wish I could be just like him. Think again. My dick is not that huge and I have horrible social anxiety, so being me would not be cool. At all. At all. I forgot, I'm doing this wrong. The stair is supposed to have more curves going on. It's a curved staircase after all. Doug. Dumb doggo. There's a photo of Google Maps about of this place here, Sydney. Well, Sydney's town hall, all the way in Australia, that shows this whose building architecture I'm copying right now. Oh, parts of it. The staircase in front of it is curved. And so I decided, you know what, maybe it would be cool if I copied that. Oh. Poor Doug did not know that this would be his downfall. Trying to copy this curved staircase design and stuff. And Leo says it is so weird. Young people and you still understand them. What? What do you mean? They are... The young people is invading your apartment and they're hanging out with you? Is that what's going on? I don't understand. And Wolf says, yeah, same. Yeah, except that instead of being like me and having social anxiety and not as big a dick, you just have the social anxiety and a huge dick. So, somewhat, you're in a better situation than I am. And Leo says, "Be well, all. Are you leaving already, Leo?" But then again, surprise, surprise! I look at the clock; it's almost noon, which is spooky, scary, because I have spent like almost 3 hours and did little to no progress here in this drawing. But then again, such is the life of me doing art for comics. Taking hours and 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 hours to do just a tiny bit of background, which is a thing that kind of unnerves me a lot about doing comics, is the thought that, you know, I'm gonna spend so much time and effort doing backgrounds and there's always the prospect that people will not even notice it. People will be like, whatever. When are these characters gonna have sex? Which is true. I have just seen to bring back an old topic a while ago had surfaced that what's the best term? Remixed version of my comic, I guess. The Call Me Daddy Redacted. Actually, what the hell am I even doing this for? This is not the final drawing layer. Might as well become, so okay, let's do that. The Call Me Daddy Redacted fan adaptation of my comic. Weirdly enough, whoever made that comic decided to post it on U18Chan, and U18Chan is possibly the worst place for you to buy stuff that is questionable at best. They got a lot of critique from people that are there, who said like, you cunts, you picked up a comic that wasn't already all that good and made it with worse and shit and stuff. And they complained quite a lot. But because it wasn't like my work directly, that was one U18Chan post I was okay with following, because way back when I was doing the Golden Week comic, I completely and wholeheartedly avoided U18Chan, because whenever they said something, it stung really hard when they criticized my comic, and I was like, oh no, that sucks. And it got me like really demotivated to keep working and whatnot. So for my mental sanity's sake, I stopped going through U18Chan. But for that one case, I decided, you know what, might as well. Let's see what's going on. So I was reading through their whatever people was talking about this comic, and lo and behold, most people were complaining about it, saying that its writing was horrible, and that they were not improving my comic in any way, shape, or form. And then a little bit further, someone went like, this is shit. I'd much prefer something else. But anyway, what's up with Doug? What does he thinks of this? What is that new comic of his about? This Interdictor comic. Is there any gay sex in it? That was like the last message on that thread that I have seen. I was like, well, now I know. The people on U18chan care not for Interdictor. This is a study. They care only for sex and dicks in it. So if a lot of people are gonna ignore my comic because it lacks gay sex or any sexual appeal at all, not being a porn story of any kind of shape or form, people are already not gonna pay attention to the story because of that. What's to say that they will also not ignore all this work that I'm putting on backgrounds? The few people that do actually read it. That's the thing I have been thinking about. Which is in itself a very, very, very sad prospect. And yet, is a thing I will have to deal with. Which is like the sort of realization experiments that makes me just think maybe I'm going about this wrong. This whole, no, let's make a comic with good content and good storytelling and shit. Whereas I maybe should only be doing full-on heavy porn comics, because I know that at least that will get me notoriety and give me returns, financial returns. Because now that I don't live with my parents anymore, working on full-on porn stuff isn't an issue, isn't a bother. And in fact, the bother now is not having money to pay bills and buy stuff. But there you go. And also every now and then also, whenever my lion gets back from work, kinda exhausted from his day at his job processing processes, comes back home tired, and I say, hey, how are you doing? It's like, I'm tired from work and whatnot. And I'm like, hey, is there anything I can do to help? And he says jokingly like, oh, you can get rich, because then I don't have to work anymore. And even though he is saying that jokingly, I know that there's some truth deep down there, like, hey, if I was making heavy furry porn, like full-on comic or whatever of furry porn, I would be Okay, my internet is connected. Pretty much well, I don't know where it cut off, but what I was saying is that every now and then my boyfriend jokingly says that I could help by becoming rich, then he wouldn't have to work anymore. And I know that if I were to be doing heavy porn comics that would be earning so much more that in a way we could make his thing come true and help him financially more, to the point that he could actually consider doing something else with his life, something that he enjoys more, or at least give him some breath. Anyway, Wolf, you said you don't think it's a good thing to have a big dick, but of course it isn't a good thing to have a big dick. Anatomically wise, it's never good to have a big anything. Or a small anything. It's good to have an average everything. Wolf, you said it's only to show off and post on Tumblr, but it's not practical. Emido says it depends how big we're talking. There's this friend of mine who allegedly has a very big penis, and we used to talk a lot about this kind of stuff. And he told me kind of like several times that when he is walking in public and he gets excited, by excited I mean sexually aroused or whatever. When his penis gets erect, he has a very visible bulge in his pants. And he told me lots of stories of times he was walking on the shopping mall with his mother, and he would get a hard on and get a huge bulge in his pants, and she would be incredibly embarrassed of it. So now I imagine too, like, the amount of attention he must get just walking around with a bulge on his pants. And that is something that is something to consider. Like, okay, there's big, and then there's big enough that it's bulging and everyone is noticing, and pretty much every social interaction is awkward to a degree. So yeah, Mido, there's a point of bigness at which it starts to be bad. Like, sure, in sex it can be amazing, but outside of sex, which is like 95% of your life, if you're very prolific with the sex making, on the other 95% that is your life, you're dealing with the impracticability of having a very big dick. And then it says it's a good thing to have a big dick, bigger, better, wetter. Not necessarily. And then it says from the bottom of the palm of your hand to the tip of your middle finger is the size of your dick, since the hand is big. Kun says U18 Chen is a place where I ignore everyone. I don't ignore everyone, because some people every now and then they do have good criticism to offer. It's just that they don't show up to you politely and offer this criticism in a friendly manner. They just throw it at your face and they don't care what you think of it, and if you even think of going after them, well, you can't, because they're anonymous. So it isn't fun. And also says, I know that it isn't true. I have a bigger dick than a person who has bigger hands than you, so your formula is flawed, Oni. Like I said, Oni, I had already said that your that formula is flawed because there's this guy. I already told this story, so I'm not gonna tell it again. Just gonna sum it up. There's this guy who has a twin brother, and he gave oral sex to his twin brother, and according to him, they have differently sized dicks, which you wouldn't expect from twin brothers, since body shape, size and form, and facial and everything else, they're completely identical. If you look at a photo of them together, it's like, okay, who is who? I don't know. You can tell. But apparently they don't have the same size of dick, so there's a flaw in your formula. Anyway, Kun says it's either trolls or my opinion is fact, and fuck you. And Tiger, you're back. Welcome back, Tiger. How's it going? And he says, if your hand is bigger than Doug's hand, you got yaoi hands. What? What are you talking about, Oni? Emilio says a good story is really important too, although comics without porn tends to do worse. How do I know that? And Kun says I love comics that have a good balance between porn and story. Oni says I love comics that have good story, small sex scene. Small sex scene, what do you mean? And a perfect ending to the end, not one that cuts off at the end of the sex scene. Oh, I see what you mean. Now I see. And Tiger says, true, but an engaging story is always nice. Yeah, I like to think that I am good at telling stories. And the problem with sex scenes is that for the format of comics that I do, they're not very fun. Because, okay, real talk now. You think, when I'm reading a comic, a sex comic, I want a sex scene that is like 20 pages long or something. Because that's a whole lot of fat material. Which it is, truly and thoroughly, it is. But, I personally do 1 page a week, so 1 month is 4 pages. 20 pages is 5 months. So you need like to disassociate yourself incredibly from this sex scene to draw the same sex scene for 5 months. So if a sex scene takes you 5 months to draw, of course you can do it faster, but the format that I use is 1 page a week. So keeping the same enthusiasm for this sex scene for 5 months is just not feasible. Not for me, at least. I'm like, I'm bored, mindless of this. I just want to change and do something fun now. So that's what I feel. And then you have artists like, what's their name even? I forgot the name of that guy. The name of the artist itself, but everyone knows the name of the character. That guy who made the Sea Salt comics of the Dalmatian, who just has sex with everyone at every place and everything. And I think it's Seifen, one or the other. They both have been doing like sex comics that have like Red Rusker, thank you, Kun. Red Rusker and Seifen, they have been doing these comics that are like, no joking, more roughly 100 pages of sex scene, and they don't post that frequently either. So it's like at least 1 year. You have spent at least 1 year drawing the same sex scene. So you gotta be really into that, into the mindset, or you must have some sort of switch in your brain that you have learned to flick on and off to get into the mood that it takes to go and draw that scene, or you're just in the mood to do that sort of stuff every single day of your waking life. To be able to go and do a sex scene that takes more than 50 pages, which is roughly a year worth of drawing. Not to say that that's bad, but goddamn, do you need some rock solid mentality to get that going on? But anyway, Wolf says, who gets randomly erect like that with their mom? This friend of mine does. He actually has Well, to talk a little bit further about his story, since you asked, Wolf, he does have a much bigger dick than average, and while you might think that's cool, it isn't. Not for him. Because I don't know if it's like a family condition or if it's a condition that he got and unlucky for him, or because of a huge production of hormones in his body, he ended up with a bigger dick, but also a much bigger. Well, his mentality got altered somehow. But he told me that he has been diagnosed with nymphomania, or some degree of nymphomania. So his earlier years, like teenage years and early adulthood, was very precarious according to him himself. He himself was telling me that it was very bad because the need to have sex and well, do sexual stuff was so big that he constantly put himself in like dangerous situations. If he was walking down the street, somebody noticed his bulge and kind of make some sort of eye contact with him and make some sort of hey let's. He would not think twice and he would go. And he boy oh boy, he was telling me all the stories of like times he went into public restrooms in weird places. Like, there's this public bathroom in this construction site nearby that this guy knows of and kind of took him there. This train station with a public restroom for employees, but apparently is a known sex point for people that happens to know. And he also told me that because of this, like, mentally he is unable to refrain from doing the sex. Many a times he just found himself like having sex with people randomly and without using any sort of protection like condoms or anything. So he started taking medicine, like heavy duty medicine, to control that aspect of himself, and then also started some psychological treatment to try and get a hold of himself. And today he's still very still much more sexual than most people you will ever meet, but he's more in control of himself. And he tells me frequently that he's very lucky to not have encountered any sort of problems or not gotten into any sort of serious occurrences because of that. So there you go. And indeed, he must be very lucky. Very lucky. But anyway, Shadow Ka, hello, welcome to the stream, and thank you so very much for that delicious raid. How's it going? How are you doing today in this what day is today again? It's a weekend day. How's your weekend day? And Middle, you said that that's understandable. And Oni says, here's a comic idea, Doug. Alright, here's a comic idea, semicolon. Doug is a big office working and hiring people by fucking everyone who wants to apply. MASH already did a comic like that. Now he says, keeping notes of this if you go to Brazil. Netta the Pink Rhino 24 says, hi Doug. Hub. Hello there, Netta. How's it going? How are you doing? And Kun says, wonderful conversation to walk in on, huh? Of course. And Netta says, Doug, Earth to Doug. What's up? And Shadow, you said that you're surviving. You did some drawings. Oh, drawings are good. What have you been drawing, by the way? It's been a while since I last seen you draw anything. Hope you've been doing cool, interesting, fun stuff. I had forgotten to play back the music, sorry. And then it says construction site, back restroom, train station, employee restroom all the way, and public restroom in the park. Yeah, lots of places. He was telling me all about these and all sorts of like crazy situations where he randomly had sex and met people eager to have sex as well. So he's like, I don't know, I guess that his hormonal level was like he himself was like a walking Tinder or Grindr or whatever. So he didn't need an application to find people willing to have sex. If he went out and started walking in a random direction, he would find someone willing to have sex and would have had sex in his earlier years or something. So there you go. And Neta says, thank you, took you long enough. Well, I don't like interrupting my line of thought because I'm a very slow-brained doggo. If I stop saying what I'm saying, I normally end up losing my train of thought, and that makes for an awkward moment for everybody involved. So I don't like doing that. Sorry, I apologize. And that will keep happening, however. But on the bright side, now you have been warned. Now you know. If that happens, you know what's going on. And Shadowka, you have been drawing faces. Tega says, hey, interesting. And Andy says, is there any secret knocking to any of these? I don't know. I would have to ask him, but... Amida says, kinda have a friend like that too. Oh yeah, most people do know people that is like that. I don't think those are few and far between. These must be very common out there in the world. But yeah. I don't even remember what we were talking about that triggered this conversation topic. But anyway, that's a friend of mine, and I hope to Dog that he has been doing much better as of late. He started working, he's been really focused on getting through college, and he's been doing great. And now he's able to control his hormones better, and he's able to do great things with his life because he's a very dedicated boy. Aneta, thank you so very much for that delicious follow, and welcome to our little family of weirdos. Welcome to our family of weirdos. Hope you like it here. Oni, you said, cause I know some in your neighborhood, you need to keep a line of shoe hanging for 2 minutes and tap your foot 3 times. Oh boy. Neta, you're doing your baseball stuff on your laptop. What baseball stuff? Sorry, Doug, didn't know. It's alright. Hardly anybody comes in here knowing the rules as it goes. Only says keep a roll of TP hanging for 2 minutes. And then it says then tap your feet 3 times and he'll tell you to sneak over to his back stall. Boy, oh boy. And Tiger says this is interesting. This sounds like some sort of an advertisement you would hear on Craigslist. Like, hey, come to this place, do this code here, and sex will happen. But anyway, Onyu says, sad thing is this guy got arrested, I wonder why. And kinda sucks cause it was at Home Depot and your dad takes you there sometimes for some tools and stuff, and you go there to sin. What started this? Was Oni Boy asking for the legendary Doug Big Dick. Was it really? Amido says, from what he told me, he had sex on a bench park one time, so that went a bit far at some point. Oh yeah, those things will. I mean, it is tricky. Because that will always, 100% of the time, will always backfire. And eventually something will go wrong and you'll not be able to do that anymore. Because, you know, at some point you're gonna get caught. Or something bad. Oh. Wait, what? Wait. Oh, okay. Oh, you're either gonna get caught by the authorities if you do that in some sort of public place, or you're gonna get unlucky and get some sort of problematic diseases and whatnot. So one way or another it ends bad, unless you stop doing that. So there's no way to get the upper hand on this thing. Because this is a matter of you letting you're letting your body, your instincts take over and control you instead of you controlling them. And your instincts, they are good at surviving and doing certain things, but they're not. They're good at keeping you alive in some situations where you're obviously in trouble, but they're not that good at keeping you alive when people know how to deceive you. And they can theoretically expose you to danger more often than not, because when that's happening, common sense goes out of the window real fast. Like, ridiculously fast. So, being careful is always important, and when your instincts take over, carefulness is not that big in the priorities list. But anyway. Nero says you have a son, I presume. What? What? You're asking me? If I have a son? What? I have no son. No sons. Now I'm confused. Very confused. But anyway. Oni says I had sex in public. Felt weird, but got you aroused more, and it wasn't the bathhouse. It was a college campus outside. He was sitting on his laptop. It was kinda odd. Huh. Well, Oni. What else can I say but to be careful? Really extra careful for all sorts of reasons and motives. And anyway, Nera says, yeah, none. Well, I am pretty sure that I have no sons. None whatsoever. Alright. Anyway, there was another subject I was talking about beforehand, before all this conversation started, which was the matter of the doing comics. And with this whole experience, this whole experiment of doing the interdictor, which deep down I thought it was gonna be good. I thought it was gonna be real cool. A whole lot of people would be like, oh, Doug is doing a story, and it's gonna be doing a story that is not about romance. We're gonna be doing a story that is about action and adventure and full of stuff that everybody can enjoy, not just furries. Problem is, I've definitely not done a good job at all of advertising it outside of the furry medium, so the people who, well, also it's kind of problematic that Tumblr went down, because Tumblr was the one thing I was counting on to advertise the interdictor, so fuck that. Although, to be fair, I can still throw it on Tumblr. That isn't a bad idea now that I think about it. Anyway, the majority of people I was expecting to like it are probably not people that I would find in my normal audience. So I have willingly decided to start a new project, not taking into account what my audience would like to see the most, and that's horrible marketing strategy. Should be like, hey, you know what, I have this audience, I know what they like, and I'm gonna do something that they do not like. How about that? And then it didn't return as many numbers as I was expecting to return, and I have nobody to blame but myself. So there's that. So trying to get out of the fandom, like making comics and shit for non-furries, isn't incredibly hard, but the competition, or rather the competition is huge, so to speak. So we need to be very good at this, and not only very good, but also incredibly more prolific with doing pages and whatnot. So I would need to, you know, do more pages per week, pay more attention to backgrounds and other details and whatnot. But there's also the anxiety and the uncertainty of trying to branch out to, well, to a non-furry audience, which I currently believe I have none of. My entire audience is comprised of furries. So if I were to go and decide to start a new audience, or rather hit a new audience, I would need to begin from zero. None of what I currently have would carry over. Maybe at best experience, but it's not like experience I can quickly and easily use in the same way. So to speak, if I wanna make the interdictor my next thing, I would need to try and captivate a broader public and try to stop focusing on furries so much, despite this being a comic that has a big appeal to furries. It also doesn't, because of the lack of, you know, sex and stuff. There we go. The staircase is done now. And or I say, you know what, I'm gonna keep catering to furries. I'm already familiar with the environment, with the people. I feel much more comfortable doing stuff amongst the furry fandom than outside of it. And I know a whole lot of people, and there's a lot of people inside the furry fandom who I would like to connect with, like make friends and connections and whatnot. Problem is, problem is I could not continue doing the interdictor, so I would have to go and do something else, such as continue the Call Me Yours comic series, and migrate to a more porn-oriented comic, so to speak. Those are my choices, and have but a few days to make a decision. Well, not a few days, but I have like not that long a time on each passing week, and boy oh boy, those weeks flying by. As time passes, I have less and less time to make a decision on whether I continue going with the interdictor, or I say, nah, interdictor, you can sit on the back burner now. I'm gonna focus on doing porn. And it also doubles back to that thing I was saying before. All of this is all on me. It's my decisions. There's nobody else out there who will make these decisions for me. There's nobody else there who will like catch my back if whatever decision I make fails. No people will take the blunt of it if it goes down horribly. It's my decision, and I'm the sole person responsible for this, for deciding it and making it happen. So no wonder I'm an anxious pile of mess. Depending on what I choose, my entire art career can end or flourish much more. So that's tricky. Anyway, Neta says, then who we're talking about? What? Were we even talking about sons before? I don't think we were. Well, Neta, I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, and I'm sorry. And Daga says, yeah, that one you can. And Wolf says, I feel like normies follow you all the time on Twitch, and then they find out I'm a furry and they never come back. Oh no. But then again, to be fair, you're more often than not playing non-furry games. You don't talk a whole lot about furry things, you don't have like furry tags all over the place. And they show up and they see your face cam. And they see this beautiful, beautiful young man in there, and they're like, well, fuck it, I'm following him. And then, eventually you go and say furry things, and then they realize, oh no, it's a furry. But by then... Neta says, I'm making a Paw Patrol fanfic and you got 570 views. Whoa, that's a lot of views. Cool. Where are you posting it? And then it says, I'm dying, this flu is kicking your ass. Doug, take over your Twitter channel. I used to be beautiful and handsome and not going, now look at me dying from a measly flu. Your career ended when you didn't want to do not safe for work as normal works. Only I can barely even manage my own Twitter. If I take over your Twitter, I'm gonna delete it. I'm just gonna straight up abandon it. So don't die, or all your work will have been for naught. And Neta says, yeah, if it wasn't him, then who? I still have no idea what you're talking about, Neta. And Wolf says, yeah, that's true. That's why I'm probably not that appealing to Forrest either. Really? Maybe. Well, you're definitely appealing to someone. Because, you know, you have a whole lot of people following you and watching your streams, and they show up every day, so you are appealing to someone. So that thing is working out. And one of us says you better keep the furriness up to keep the normies away. And also, hello there, Bodo Colin. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? And Wolf says maybe I will get a custom face rig someday. There's that. That gun in my nose. There's that custom, well, not custom, but like generic-ish Wolfer rig that Caribou made for face rig, and he kind of just threw it over the internet. You can always get that, maybe customize the colors a little bit. If you need help with that, I can certainly help. Like texturing the character to make it look more like your colors. Because if you want help with that, I can definitely help you. And customize him to make it look like a wolfo, and then you can have a face rig going on, and then all the furries, no exception, are gonna be all over your stuff. And then months from now, all the new furry followers are gonna be like, "Oh, Wolf, do a face reveal," and then you do a face reveal, and everyone's gonna squill when they see how beautiful you look. They're gonna be like, "Oh, dog them." And one of us says, or just get some fluffy ears. And Netta says fanfiction.net. Never heard of that place. And also, hello there, Nathan. Welcome to the stream. I drew a house, and that's all I achieved today. Like literally, this is all I achieved, was drawing this thing up there and this thing down here. Now I have to fill this with a crowd and then throwing some more buildings. Oh boy, drawing is so fun. And then it says, cause you gotta have 150 hours on here to be eligible to link things. Yes. Not just anybody can show up and start throwing links. And Bodo Collins says, I'm doing good. Finally home from PAX East. I have no idea what that is. I came to hear your voice because I was hosting you. So relaxing. Oh my dog, my voice is relaxing, I suppose. Thank you. And also, great to hear that you're doing good. Hope your time at PAX East, whatever that was fun and enjoyable. And one of us says, yeah, you can customize the color of the jacket and also add stuff. Caribou's model is different, it doesn't have a jacket. And although you can kind of colorize it through face rig, it's probably works best if you go and do if you do your own texturing. It's a custom model, by the way. Let me see if I have a link about here, because I'm a horrible computer user and don't close my tabs so they are open all over the place here. I have so many tabs open. It's a wonder my computer works. So there you go, that's the one. Well, if you haven't tried that with Caribou's model yet. One of us says, I have been thinking of using the face rig for just chatting when I'm too lazy to shower your hair. Oh, that could work. And Netta says, the link went through. Yes, I can see messages that have been deleted by the bot. And one of us says, wait, it's a different one than the one on face rig. Yes, it is. Wolf says there's a few in your workshop, and one of us says, ooh, that one. I just like the collar. Collar? Is that a collar? What? What the heck are you talking about? I have no idea what the heck you're talking about, so I'm gonna ignore that. And Wolf Rain says, but also made a free 2D Fox buff. Also, Buff Pup also made a free 2D Fox one recently. Oh, that's cool. Holy shit! Fucking hell. If it's the random ass face rig model, I guess there's not much else I can do. But if it's like a fully rigged, and I can get access to like the live 2D files, I could go and make my own and kind of just replace files on here and there and be like, ha, I used your base. Because, damn, does live 2D need more documentation going on in it? Because nobody knows how to use that. And Nathan says it is ridiculously hard to make models for face rig. It is, according to people. I don't know how nor why, but Caribou seems to have some sort of workflow ready for that, because he is certainly doing that. And truth to be told, if you stop and use your entire free time for like 2 months straight, anyone can learn how to do 3D models for face rig. Problem is, that takes a whole lot of time. It's gonna be very frustrating, and the chance of doing bad stuff is also there. So, crazy. Also, holy shit, I just realized today is the 5th. I got paid! Lovely. And Regis 8, you're back, welcome back, but it's time for me to go, because I have to have lunch, and my boyfriend invited me to have lunch out to celebrate the weekend day that is today. Wolf says yes, it actually clips through the mouth when talking. Really? Huh. And Regis 8, what did you miss? Oh my dog, so much stuff. We were talking about sex, we were talking about comics, we were talking about anxiety and how I don't like inviting people to play games because I can't, because I'm a nervous wreck of a guy. We also talked about comics, a little bit about comics, about TV shows. Weirdly enough, we didn't talk about food. Go figure. And I talked a little bit about perspectives as well, but that's not what you guys come here to watch. You don't show up to see, hey, let's watch Doug make comics and make drawings. Let's show up to talk with Doug and have a good time. So I don't know if I draw or don't draw stuff. Anyway, and well, of course says, wait, 2D in face rig? Yes, if you have the live 2D add-on or something, you can get 2D models going on face rig. And 2D models are theoretically easier to make, but the only program that kind of allows you to do those is face rig, which is, I mean, live 2D, which is ridiculous because it's a new program specifically for this. And the problem with live 2D is many. First, whoever created that program made it on their own and didn't collaborate with any other people that make digital drawings programs, so the interface is unlike anything else you have ever seen. Secondly, it has no documentation, so the people who made the program doesn't care if people out there learn how to use it or not. It is impossible to use and you're gonna have a bad time if you try. Third, it's a Japanese program, so most of this documentation you're gonna find is gonna be in Japanese, so that's not fun. Fourth, it's a very expensive program with only one use, so that's a problem. And Anya says, lol, I just got a DM from Satanic Minion 666. It makes you smile that even as Satan praising people want you in their occult, I guess you're true hell sinful. And Kun says 2D face rigs can be done in a dub character animator. Really? What the fuck? I need to Google that. A dub character animator. Oh, that is an actual program. Would you look at that? A dub character animator is a software, desktop application software product that combines live motion capture with multi-track recording system to control layered 2D puppets drawn in Photoshop or Illustrator or Eclipse Studio, who knows. I wanna look more into that. Cause holy shit, if you can make characters in 2D characters in this, then damn them. I mean, you still have like flash level animation quality, but still, sounds better than learning Live 2D. Or not, who knows even. Anyway, and Rages said, have a great time. And Netta says, hey Doug, I'm gonna charge out. Bye Doug. Sure thing, Netta. Thank you for the follow, and I'll be seeing you later. Take care. Kuhn says 3D face rigs needs very specific polygon layouts, and Wolf says are 2D a lot lighter on CPU usage. I guess it doesn't matter as much, right? Since the same tracking happens. It is lighter not on CPU, it's lighter on the rest of your computer. It doesn't need as much RAM memory to load textures and render a 3D character in real time. So theoretically it is much lighter in resources, not necessarily on CPU though. On CPU, I guess the weight is the same, but on your graphics card, on your RAM memory and other stuff, probably much lighter. And Kuhn says Adler, the Eagle, uses a 2D rig. I have never heard of that person before. And Kuhn says, I think character animator used to be Flash. Perhaps. I know that they don't have Flash anymore. I don't think they do. And then it says, sounds like something I'd try to take up to learn to do 2D face rig. Oh my dog, only if you learn how to do good 2D face rigs, you're gonna get hella rich. Wolf says, Buff Pup sometimes the string 2D face rig works. You wanna get an idea of how it works? Yeah, sure. Definitely go and check out Buff Pup. She does amazing drawings and somehow, on her own, mastered how to work Live 2D. And Nathan says, Flash is dead, Adobe killed it. Wolf says, anyway, gotta go now, so have a good one, guys. Sure thing, Wolfrain. Coincidentally, I also have to go. But Doug, it's 20 minutes earlier. Well, that doesn't matter when you're hungry and there's food waiting for you. It is time for me to go catch some food with my delicious lion boyfriend. So I will do two things. First of which is to thank you guys for being here today, watching me working on quote unquote, a huge quote unquote, working on the comic. And hopefully you guys learned a thing or two and enjoyed the show. And I also would like to ask you guys to go out there, check one of our friends who are doing any sort of weird different things. There's a lot of people, lots of friends doing what's it called, well, they're doing things, crazy different things, and some of which might be interesting, and maybe some of you guys should go and check them out. Let's check out this new friend called X-Dr. Helix, who's playing some Castlevania. I never heard of that Castlevania, but it should be fun, so let's go and check them out. And hopefully, you guys will have a delicious rest of a weekend day, that is today, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Stay awesome, thanks for being around, and have a good one, everyone. And goodbye to everyone who said goodbye. Mido, Kuhn, Nathan, and Tiger, who said bye Doug, enjoy your Friday. It's not Friday, it's a weekend day. And you say, Doug, you even have a good day. Oh my dog. So many well wishes. Thank you so very much, Tiger. Thank you all. And now I'll leave you with Dr. Helix and
Castlevania Order of Ecclesia or whatever the hell it's called.
Anyway, bye bye.